In emotional intelligence, we learned never finished. There is no final version of you. Growth never stops. In mindfulness, we learn now. You can't live in the future and you can't fix the past. Life only happens right here. So productivity asks, since there's no finish line, since we can't go back, all we truly have is right now, right here. What do we do? What do we actually do? What can we actually do? The answer is next. Not perfect, not guaranteed, not finished, just next. The next step, and the next step, and the next step. Let's get into it. I'm Trevor Turner. Once lost, now living on purpose. I know what it's like to feel locked out of your own potential. This show is for the ones who are ready to take their power back and write a new story, 1 hour at a time. You can do it. You can do anything, and you don't need permission. That's why I started the free hour, to give people the space to change their story, to remind them you are not your past, you are not your mistakes, you are not done, you are powerful. You can find freedom, you can find yourself, and you decide what happens next. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the free hour. It's your boy Trevor Turner. We're back with another video. We're back with another episode in our free hour ABCs, the ABCs of Tree, and this is productivity. This is where we learn to align our effort with purpose and build a life that actually moves forward. This is where we learn to build a life that we don't need to be ashamed of, that we don't need to escape from, that we don't need to run from. The life of our dreams, not somebody else's dreams, not somebody else's business, the life of our dreams that we've always wanted. See, one of the things that I learned is that you can go back and you can claim your dreams again. But what are you going to do to actually get there? What are you going to do to actually make yourself move towards getting your own dreams? What are you going to do to bring yourself productivity, right? And one of the things that we've been talking about this month, that we've been talking about through our emotional intelligence series, our mindfulness series, and our productivity series, is the long game. We've talked about never being finished. We've talked about the now, and now we're talking about next. We're talking about what we actually do. We're talking about how we actually keep going. And one of the things that I found is that a lot of times when we're so focused on trying to fix the past, when we're so focused on trying to live in the future, is because we are so afraid of the failures. We are so afraid of the setbacks. We are so afraid of the obstacles. And that's what we're going to be talking about today when it comes to productivity. We're going to be talking about what failure is. We're going to be talking about fears. We're going to be talking about some of the old ways. We're going to be talking about how to shift. We're going to be talking about some different concepts. We're going to be talking about some of how I overcame some of those different things. And then, of course, our actionable shifts so that we can become the people that we want to become in our downtime, in our free time. A lot of us don't have the time that these other people say that these other people got. We have to wake up and do things before we go to work. We have to do things late into the night after we get off of work because we have to survive. We have to pay bills. We got to take care of our kids. We got to take care of our family. We got to take care of our vehicle. We got to pay to keep a roof over our head. We got to survive. But the thing is that if we are not doing things in the outside, if we are not doing things in the off times, in the downtime, if all that time is wasted, if all the time that we have outside of when we clock in and clock out for somebody else's vision, for somebody else's dream, for somebody else's bank account, for somebody else's contracts, for somebody else's growth, for somebody else's dreams, then that is time that is wasted. Those are next steps that we are not taking. And we're going to talk about why a lot of people don't take them, those steps. All right? Before we get into it, by the end of this video, I hope you like the video. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everybody who's subscribed so far. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everybody who's watched any of these videos. And if I've helped you in any type of way, man, I just thank you for giving me the opportunity to even talk to you about any of this stuff. It's like I said, I'm just somebody who found something in a dark place in my life, and I really just want to share and give back to that using my story and using the things that I've learned. That's it. So let's get into it. See, I think a lot of people think failure is what stops progress. I don't. I think what stops most people is something deeper. It's not failure. It's the fear of being seen failing. It's the fear of looking foolish. It's the fear of wasted effort. It's the fear that people will say, see, I knew you weren't going to make it. So they quit early. It's not because they failed. It's because they wanted to avoid that feeling of failure, that feeling of loss, that feeling of setback. And that's tragic, because if you're playing the long game, failure isn't the end. Quitting is. There is no failure until you quit. What I've come to learn throughout my life is that failure is a natural part of the process. I failed at a music career. I failed trying to do this YouTube thing before. I failed trying to do podcasting. I failed trying to make a gaming channel. I failed trying to stream. I failed trying to be a criminal. I failed in recovery multiple times. I failed at jobs. I failed in relationships. I failed in so many different aspects and avenues of life. And all of those things have culminated in the learning experience to create the person that you see now. There was no failure until I decided that I couldn't do it anymore, till I threw in the towel. That's when I ultimately failed. That's when I ultimately lost, was when I decided that it wasn't worth it to try and keep going. And there were times that I actually did that. There were times that actually happened to me, when I decided that enough was enough and I wasn't going to try doing these things anymore. That was during COVID. When COVID hit, and I was just coming off of, going around the country and doing my thing when it came to the music stuff. And I decided that because COVID had happened and it had eliminated my ability to be able to travel, it eliminated my ability to be able to be up in people's faces, it eliminated my ability to do certain things. Instead of trying to pivot, I threw in the towel. I gave up. I went back to drugs. I went back to a different lifestyle. And for me, that was the ultimate failure, because I let the fear of failure sway me. I let the fear of people being able to say, look, I knew you weren't good enough. Look, you could never have got it done. Sway me in so many different ways, because most people approach productivity like this. And I was one of those people. We make a big plan. We stay motivated. No matter what, we execute perfectly. No matter what, there are no setbacks, and we win quickly. And if reality gets messy, we just assume something's wrong. We assume we're not good enough. We assume the plan was bad. We assume that everything is going against us. We assume the environment is bad. We assume all sorts of different things, but real life don't work like that. You will fail. You will stall. You will lose momentum. You will have seasons where nothing looks like it's working. You will have seasons where everything seems to be going so slowly. You're not getting any of the results that you think that you deserve to be getting. You're not getting any of the traction that you think you should be getting. You're not getting any raises at work. You're getting looked over for promotions. You're not getting any responses on any of the job applications you're putting out. You're not getting responses to any of the things that you're trying to do on the side. You're not getting funding for your nonprofits. You're not getting any of the things that you have studied for, that you have tried for, that you're putting your effort and your energy into. You will have those seasons, and if your system requires perfection, you will not survive the long game. The long game is messy. The long game requires you to learn from failure. The long game requires you to learn from setbacks. The long game requires you to pivot and then pivot and then pivot and then keep walking through every different season that comes your way, through every storm that comes your way, through every obstacle that comes your way, through every group of people that don't want to help you that comes your way, through every time when you feel like nothing is going according to plan. You just need to take the next step and the next step and the next step. And the shift for me was realizing winning was never about avoiding failure. Winning was never about avoiding those failures. Winning was about refusing to stop. And for me, that changed everything. See, when I had started doing this other stuff before, right? When I had got out of prison, way back in the 2010s, and I decided that I wanted to try this YouTube thing. And back then I was like really, I was coming out of prison, and I was like really into like trying to do this gaming thing. But then I kind of was like on some other stuff too. So I kind of did a couple different things, and I did like 3 videos, 4 videos. Nobody watched it, so I stopped. I started doing some other stuff trying to stream. I did one, maybe two. Nobody watched it, so I stopped. Those were failures because I did not even give it a chance to go long enough to see what I could fix or what I could tweak or what I could adjust or what I could make better, to see what it was that was wrong, to see what it was that was going on that I could do something differently about. Winning was never about avoiding those failures, and I thought that it was about avoiding the failures. I thought it was about being something overnight. I thought it was about just stopping when it looked like it was too tough. Like if it didn't catch on really quick enough, that was a sign to just stop. That was a sign to just let it all go. And it wasn't until I think that I started doing the music thing that I really realized that every setback, everything that comes is an opportunity to try something different. It's an opportunity to try something new. It's an opportunity to try and try and try again. Until ultimately COVID came and I succumbed to the fear of failure again. But once I stopped treating failure like disqualification, which is how I am now, I have become so much harder to defeat. See, failure became data. Failure became feedback. Failure became part of my path. And every time life punches me in the mouth, the only question becomes, what's next? Not why me? Not, well, what will people think? What are they going to say? What if I fail again? What if I end up broke? What if I can never make it? What if I never get there? The only question is just what's next? What do I do next? What step do I take next? Where do I go from here? How do I make this better? How do I make this different? How do I pivot? Where do I go? Without giving up, without refusing, without stopping. And there's a concept in psychology called self-handicapping. Researchers like Stephen Berglas studied how people often sabotage efforts to protect ego. Why? Because if you don't fully commit, failure hurts less. You can always say, well, I didn't really try. I wasn't really locked in. That wasn't my best. Even the excuses I just gave with the YouTube channel and the streaming that I did. Well, I only did like 2 or 3 videos, or I only did like 1 or 2 streams. I didn't really give it all my all. That was an example of me doing the self-handicapping. That was an example of me taking away the sting of what I felt was the failure from it. It helped me protect my identity, but it killed my growth. Because real progress requires vulnerability. You have to risk being seen trying. You have to risk the possibility of losing. You have to risk the possibility of people being able to say, you aren't good enough. You have to risk the possibility of people being able to say, I knew that wasn't going to happen. You have to risk the possibility of crashing and burning. You have to. You have to put it all on the line. You have to lock in and you have to go for it. You have to, because if you don't fully commit, you kill your growth and the real progress never comes. You have to risk that being seen trying and possibly losing. And that's terrifying, but it's necessary. It has to happen. Real productivity is not perfect streaks, constant wins, or even never messing up. Real productivity is maintaining alignment through imperfection. Or even simpler, taking the next step. Always taking the next step. You slip and fall, guess what? You get up, you take the next step. You feel like you went in the wrong direction, get up, you get up. Guess what? You get up and take the next step. You walk through a storm, you walk through a season, you walk through everything that just makes you feel like rejection and failure and embarrassment and shame and ridicule, but you still take the next step. Forwards, never backwards. You keep taking that next step. And for me, this is personal. You will see me fail. If you follow my social medias, if you know me, if you've been a part of my life, you've already seen me fail. Like I said, I failed in music. I failed my first attempts at YouTube. I failed in recovery multiple times. I've had jobs that didn't work out. I've made plans that collapsed. I've started things that never became what I thought they would. I failed in relationships. I was married before. I failed. I've fumbled so many bags. I've fumbled so many people. I've fumbled so much positivity. I've failed more times than most people have tried. But there's only one way that you will never see me fail ever again. You will never see me fail because I stopped showing up. You will never see me fail due to a lack of consistency. You will never see me fail because I threw in the towel. Never again. And that's different. I may fail at many outcomes, but I refuse to fail at consistency. I may be made fun of, I may be ridiculed, I may be talked about, I may get negative comments, I may get people in my DMs telling me that you need to stop, I may get people in real life telling me I need to stop, I may get people who don't want to answer my phone calls, I get people who don't want to give me the time of day until something starts going for me and now they want to hop on my bandwagon and be opportunists. I may get all of those different things, but you will never see me fail because I didn't show up. You will see me fail because nobody wants to watch this thing and I may do it for the next 10 years and never get above 100 views on a video. You might see that, but you will never see me stop showing up. As long as I'm still moving, I'm still in the game. And that matters because lately I felt behind. I'm gonna be honest, I'm feeling like behind. I know a lot of us are coming, a lot of us are watching this video, a lot of us are approaching life, a lot of us are feeling like we're interacting with life from a position of feeling like we're behind. Career, money, health, school, content. Sometimes I feel like I'm carrying years of expectations. And if I stare at the whole mountain, I feel like it can crush me at any moment. So I know a lot of us, me included, we come back to the next question. What's next? What's next? One of the things that helped me is to reframe. One of the things that helped me is to putting in perspective. It's not forever. It's not all of it. It's just next. That next step. I think one of the things that helped me with my procrastination was even thinking about just next. I think one of the things that I came to find out with me when it came to procrastination was that I didn't want to do something, or I didn't want to get into the act of doing something that I thought was going to be like not pleasurable, or I thought was going to be annoying, I thought was going to be tedious, because I kept viewing it and looking at it like I was going to have to do that whole thing all at once. I was looking at the entire mountain. I didn't start writing that paper because I was looking at it like I had to write the whole 8 pages right now. I had to write the whole 5 pages right now. I had to write the whole 10 pages right now. But the thing is like I had to do like all of my videos right now. I had to do all the videos, do the editing, do the uploading, everything right now. I had to do all of the outlining and all of the writing. I had to do all my case notes. I had to do everything right now. And the thing about it is that I only have to do what's next. Not only did that help me to figure out and navigate my next steps, but that helped me to overcome my procrastination. It helps me to overcome my lack of discipline sometimes, because I am not a very all the time super energetic person. There are so many times that I just feel like I don't want to get up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to get after it. Sometimes I want to throw in the towel. But the thing is that I just get up and I do the next step. Not because I have it all figured out, not because I have every step until the finish line completely and perfectly measured, but I have that next step figured out. So let's talk about some actionable shifts. Let's talk about 1, redefining failure. Stop calling everything failure. Did you learn? Did you adapt? Did you keep moving? Then it wasn't defeat. It wasn't failure. It was tuition. Failure is expensive education. Quitting is surrendering. Those are not the same thing. Failure is tuition that you can afford. Failure is the best schooling. It is the best curriculum, the most effective curriculum. Number 2, build identity around consistency, not outcomes. And this is huge for me. See, I don't say I'm someone who always wins. I say I'm someone who keeps showing up. One identity survives setbacks, the other collapses under them. I'm someone who shows up regardless of what else is going on, regardless of how I feel, regardless of how stiff my body is. I know y'all see me trying to stretch out. I know y'all see me trying to get loose. My body is stiff. I don't really feel that good today. I'm not really in the most I'm not in the best health right now. I'm just going to leave it at that. I got some issues and stuff going on. I got a whole bunch of different things going on, but I still show up. I got things at work that I don't necessarily like what's going on, but I still show up. I got things financially I don't necessarily like what's going on, but I still show up. I got things even with this that I don't necessarily like what's going on, but I still show up. I got results that I haven't seen on all sorts of different angles and all sorts of different ends that I still haven't seen, but I still show up. Because you know what? If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth building to begin with. And I build my identity around the fact that I show up. I build my identity around the fact that I'm the person who has heart. I'm the person who don't give up. I'm the person who don't run back to all that other stuff that I was doing like I used to. I built my new identity on that, regardless of how many times life punches me in the mouth, regardless of how many times life kicks me in the ass, regardless of how many times it pushes me down and gets me muddy and gets me in the dirt, I still show up. And when you fail, shorten the recovery window. This might be the most practical. See, everyone falls off. Everyone misses a workout. Everyone misses a post. Everyone misses a routine. Everyone has a bad day. Everyone has bad weeks. Some people got bad months. I'm sure everyone got bad months. But the question isn't, did you fail? Did you fall down? Did life knock you on your ass? It's not like that. The question is, how fast did you return? How fast did you get back up? How fast did you bounce back? How fast did you think about, okay, well, what am I going to do next when that same right cross comes for me or that same left hook comes for me? How am I going to bob and weave these feelings of failure, these feelings of ridicule, these feelings of shame? How am I going to bob and weave that L that I just took? How am I going to dodge that L and get to the W? How am I going to shift? How am I going to do these things, and how quickly am I going to get back to it? Champions recover faster. That's it. Sometimes the separation between a champion, an amateur, somebody who's never gotten in the ring, someone who's never trained, is literally 8 seconds, 10 seconds. It's the difference between a standing 8 count and the ref going like that. Sometimes it's just 1 second. How quickly you decide to let that failure go. You learn from it, you move on. You don't hold on to it. You don't take it with you. You don't keep it. You don't even wear it like a badge of honor. You get the lesson from it and you discard it. See, failure never scared me as much as being seen failing, until I realized that growth demands both. Sometimes people got to see you doing bad. Sometimes people got to see you failing. Sometimes people got to see you crashing and burning. Sometimes people got to see you working hard as fuck, burning the candle at both ends, and it not going anywhere, amounting to anything. You will see me fail at many things. You will never see me fail because I quit. The only thing I quit is drugs and alcohol. The only thing I quit was a negative lifestyle. The only thing I quit was toxic relationships. You will never see me quit my goals and my dreams ever again. The only real defeat in the long game is deciding the game is over while you're still alive. The only real defeat in this game, the long game, is deciding the game is over while you're still alive. You only fail when you give up, big bro. See, Never Finished taught us that you're never done growing. Now taught us that your life only exists in the present. And next teaches us how to move forward when the path gets hard. The next step is powerful because it doesn't require certainty. It only requires willingness, a willingness to try, a willingness to fail, a willingness to look imperfect, and a willingness to keep going. And maybe that's the real secret. The people who build extraordinary lives aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who stop making failure mean the end. They just keep asking what's next. See, I stopped trying to guarantee success. I just committed to never letting failure be the reason that I stopped moving. And that's it. That's been next in our productivity series. I hope that this helped you to kind of get a grip on yourself, to get a grasp of how you deal with failure, to a grasp on how you take the next steps. You don't need to know for certain what your next steps are. You just need to keep taking them. You need to, we've already talked about how to figure out our purpose and how to figure out our direction, how to figure out what we're good at and what we want to do. And now it's just time to get a handle on it, pray. Say, I'm going to let go of the failure. I'm going to let go of the fear of embarrassment. I'm going to let go of the fear of the ridicule. I'm going to let go of the fear of rejection, let go of all these different fears and insecurities. And I'm just going to take the next step. It's a meme been going around TikTok lately, and it's something that I feel really fits for this particular topic. It's thinking that ridicule is more important or weighs more. The fear of the failure weighs more, has more weight to it, has more prominence to it, is more profound than the feeling you're going to get of taking that next step, than the feeling you're going to get when you finally succeed. That, you know what, I'm afraid what people are going to say about me. I'm afraid what's going to happen when I fall and I scrape my face. I'm afraid what's going to happen when all these people see me crash and burn. But the feeling that happens when you get up, the feeling that happens when you say, no, this is not the end. The feeling that happens when I say quitting is not going to be in my vocabulary anymore. I'm just going to continue taking next steps. Even if it doesn't look like there's anything that I can step to, I'm still going to take that next step because I'm going to step with willingness. And the meme that I've seen is how they highlight how many times in the Bible it says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Remember that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Remember that we have something behind us that no one can defeat. So take that next step. Take that next step. As long as you're still alive, as long as you still got breath, take that next step. All right? And that's it. It's been your boy Trevor Turner. This has been our productivity series, our free hour ABCs, the ABCs of Tree. And that was productivity. All right? We'll see y'all next time. Deuces.